Carrie.
Matt.
The podcast launch is just a week away. In a mere 7 days, people will finally hear the very first full episode of Stereochemistry. How do you feel?
I feel impatient. I want to show off what we've been working on.
That's fair. That's very fair. I think we've got some really cool stuff to share with our listeners. So where do we take the promo from here?
I feel like we need an official trailer or something.
Oh, like a bunch of quotes from our reporting smushed together, but entirely devoid of context, just to get people jazzed about the podcast?
Exactly. But we've also got to tell people what to expect. So what the episodes will be about, how long they'll be, how often they'll come out, that sort of thing.
Smart. Our first 3 episodes will come out over the next 3 weeks leading up to the ACS National Meeting in New Orleans.
And each episode will be about a half hour, featuring us talking to the people behind the stories we think every chemist should hear. After the meeting, we're going to scale back the frequency to 1 episode a month.
I know that sounds like a long time, but we want to be sure we have the time to find those stories that matter most, and that we're doing the most we can to tell them as best we can.
So, beloved listeners, if you've got ideas, do not be shy about sending them to us at CEN_multimedia@acs.org. Or tweet at me at Absolute Carrie. That's Kerri.
Or me at Mr. Matt Davenport. That's MATT.
Better yet, tweet at us both.
So now that we've got that out of the way, we can do the whole quotes without context thing.
Take it away.
So for our first episode, I'm going to try to learn why metal organic frameworks are having a moment right now.
With metal organic frameworks, there's this unique possibility to synthesize them bottom up.
We are really in the right time for the moth.
How do we get those moths into a usable space? I think there's a lot of work to be done there.
There's always a slim hope that it will go right. And these are the small margins that we live by.
In our second episode, I follow up with the CNN reporters behind our sexual harassment cover story that came out last fall, as well as survivors of sexual harassment, to continue the discussion about how that issue is affecting chemistry.
I think a lot of people have been in denial that this was happening in chemistry. They didn't believe it was happening in chemistry, but I think it's pretty clear from our reporting, sexual harassment happens everywhere.
The other things that he would do is he would come up from behind and rub my shoulders or look me up and down and say, I really like what you're wearing.
We're so often told to be cool, not to say a joke isn't funny. And that's, in my mind, where a lot of it starts. You can shut it down, and you should.
What can you learn from this? What can you do better to hopefully prevent something similar happening?
Then, in our third episode, intrepid CNN reporter Tien Nguyen learns what chemists are saying about their new preprint server, ChemArchive.
It's the game we play. It is the construct that's in place.
And here, we violate the dogma of the field. I still don't know if it's a good idea.
We're not here to destroy journals. We really like journals. That's kind of part of why we're putting this in, to be honest.
So for CNN, this is Carrie Jansen. Remember, you'll hear from me in just a couple weeks in our second episode.
And this is Matt Davenport. I'll be talking to you again in our first full episode of Stereochemistry in 1 short week. Subscribe now on iTunes, Google Play, or TuneIn so you don't miss out.
Thanks for listening.